I use the 12 houses of the zodiac, and as the cards appear in each house, then that is the influence that is coming through at this time for you. So in the first house, we have Saturn return age. So the first house is everything to do with the self, your appearance, your observable characteristics, your personality, how you appear to others, your physical body, your physical regime, what you're going through, you're working out and sort of how you're making your way through your day. It's also self-oriented interests and just basically what you are projecting outwardly to others that you meet. So if it's your mask that you're presenting to others. So with Saturn return there, you're actually, Saturn return is about wisdom. It's about gaining wisdom through experience. Because a return implies that it's coming back, and Saturn does it has two major turns in your life, around about 29, and then the next one is a bit later, another 29 years further on after that. So, sort of middle to late 50s is what you're looking at. but basically what it implies here is that it's wisdom coming back, wisdom that you've gained through experience. So some of you, if you are older, you may be feeling your wisdom, the weight of your wisdom, or you may just be feeling your age. But it's all about harnessing that wisdom and putting it into action. So it's also about being responsible and facing what needs to be done. It's kind of a paring back and taking stock. It's about changing what you have outgrown. So you need to be realistic. And release what just isn't working for you anymore. And that can be in a variety of ways, all to do with the self, your physical body and yourself, and how you are moving through the world and what you're projecting to others. You need to face your truth as well, dig deep, have a good, spend time in contemplation, actually figuring out what it is, who you are, and what you've gained over your life. You need to leave the past behind. As I said, what's not working for you, you can't keep dragging it around, so let it go. But Saturn also is about working towards solid achievement. So you may be just bringing that wisdom in now, that wisdom, and turning it into action to actually get you that solid achievement. Because if you work with Saturn, if you work with the taskmaster, then eventually you will see the achievements and you will see the rewards, and the achievement will be based on solid ground. You don't want to be aiming for something that just isn't right to begin with. It's all about putting systems in place, being methodical, and having a good and strong foundation. You need to look after yourself, your health as well, because Saturn rules all the ligaments of the body, the bones, your skeletal structure, and your teeth. And you need to build endurance and fortitude as well with this. So harness your resources, contemplate what you can cut away and what you can do without, and then move forward slow and steady and build yourself up so that you can face the future and build something that you can actually that can actually support you going forward. So this could even be a physical regime you want to bring in, or it could just be the way you are projecting yourself amongst others. You may be coming across as quite serious at the moment amongst the people that you meet. And this is the Saturnian influence coming in, because it is serious. It is about contemplation and cutting away what doesn't serve you anymore. Then we have in the second house, we have Mercury retrograde, which is reinvention. So during a Mercury retrograde phase, anything with a re in front of it applies. So this can be a revisit, a revision, rearrange, reduce, or redo. It's anything like that. So it's basically going over something again to pick up areas that perhaps would never have worked or won't work. Picking up mistakes, picking up errors, checking details again, because ultimately if you do that, you will eventually get a much better product or a much better result. So now this is your second house, which is all to do with your money and your income. It's to do with what you own, what you possess, your possessions, and it's also your self-worth and your values, your value systems. It's property as well, real estate, land, that sort of thing. So this is with this card appearing in this house, it's best to postpone making purchases and big decisions about your money coming in. Best to postpone that. Also signing documents or contracts, just avoid for the moment until this period has passed. Normally, in a regular chart, Mercury goes retrograde about 3 times a year, more or less, for about 3 weeks. But as it's appearing here, anywhere between 1 week and 3 weeks, you may be feeling this. So just feel your way along until you feel the energy shift, and then you'll get the go-ahead. But just at the moment, rather just stay as you are, but also go over your plans. Again, there may be delays as well. It's about double checking facts, checking your emails, all forms of communication, because things can go awry. There can be misunderstandings. Emails just don't get sent, or they don't get received, or what you say gets misunderstood. It's a good time to review plans, because it will be better afterwards, but you need to go through that sifting and sorting and clearing out and making it better, and picking up errors as well, mistakes. Don't get off track though. You've got to plod along and you've got to tackle it. This is also, if you're using electronics and computers and also your vehicles to do with the second house activities, then you may experience some sort of repair, or the electronics and the computers just don't work, or you may also need to back up documents as well, because sometimes things just go on the blink, and then you lose documents, or things just don't get sent, or they don't get stored, and so on. So it's all about that. If you're writing or involved in writing things, or you're making plans and budgets and so on for your money, you may be required to do some kind of recount or rewrite with that. This also comes in later on for your 8th house, which again is bringing up the fact that you're not to take action, or don't take action just at the moment with your big finances. So this is the two work together. This is your personal income and money, and this the 8th house is all about big money, your bigger investments and things like that. So the two are indicating that it's just time to wait and to go over your plans, review before you move forward with anything major. Then in the 3rd house, we have Pisces, I believe. So your 3rd house is everything to do with your communication, whether this is written or verbal or your body language. It also governs documents and contracts. So now with Pisces, I believe there's dual meanings to this, because Pisces is dual. But the most uplifting aspects of Pisces are, it's all about service, about sensitivity and compassion. So what you say is going to matter. Your words are going to matter. And this could affect your siblings and your aunts, uncles, cousins. Those are the kind of family members that fall under the 3rd house. It could also be the wider public. So it's also about having a bit of faith, and sort of avoiding pessimism and also cynicism, because that can be the flop side of the positive aspects of Pisces. So it could also be that you may need to be putting boundaries in with others, with regards to how you communicate, or just how you communicate with others. You don't want to be sort of manipulated by others. Keep your speech positive. This card also brings in the arts as well. So whether this is creative writing or artistic endeavors, anything like that. So, but it's your communication and it's your expression. So therefore, if you're expressing yourself with art or with written works and so on, you have the ability to now access much higher levels of consciousness with Pisces in there. It's imaginative, it's creative, there's fantasy there. There's also, reaching higher levels. There's also access to psychic abilities. So that's like clear sentience, clear audience, all of those. But it's really about your communication, your interactions with others, what you say and what you hear as well. So you'll have greater access to spirituality and creativity. This house also rules short trips. This is local trips. So trips to water, any body of water, will be very beneficial for you at this time. Then in the fourth house, we have Grand Cross Provoker. So this is a card which is going to bring, what's indicating that you're going to be experiencing in your home life. This is your home, your actual home, your home life. And it's also to do with your ethnic identity, your roots and your foundation. You're going to be experiencing a bit of tension at this time. So it's like frustration. And feeling restricted in some way, shape or form. So it could be to do with your actual physical home. Perhaps you're requiring to make a move now, or you want to make a move and you just can't at the moment, or things are difficult, or there are obstacles coming up for you. So the main thing with this is to persevere, not to give up. Just keep going through those difficulties. Just handle them one step at a time. Work your way through each one. You may just feel a bit of exasperation sometimes, like you no sooner get through one than another thing appears. It's also, you may just feel a bit like you're being pulled in different directions as well. So it's sort of four angles multiplied, and they're all sort of putting you under a bit of pressure. It's pressure to grow, which is a catalyst for movement and change. So you may actually be wanting to make a change or be in the process of making a change, and you've just got a lot to deal with. You could be suffering from a bit of overwhelm. But stick with the process and see it through to victory. Focus on your priorities and get organized and realistic. Also, your communication is going to be important as well. Then in the fifth house, you have Jupiter, which is abundance. So your fifth house is to do with your children, if you have children or you're working or you're exposed to children. It's also your creativity, your creative abilities. And that can take many forms. It's not necessarily artistic. Artistic and creative are different things. Creativity, you can be a creative thinker, a creative writer, or you could be a creative in the way you arrange your home, or creative in the way you create your children's parties, or your finances even. You can be creative in many, many ways. You can be a creative speaker. So creativity is a huge aspect of ourselves, and we can all access it. It just may not look like somebody else's creativity. It's going to be unique to you. So the fifth house covers children, creativity. It also covers love affairs, and it covers recreational activities of all kinds. So having fun, going, all kinds of whether it's outdoor, indoor activities, games. It's also sports, that kind of thing. So with Jupiter abundance coming in, this is a lovely card to be having in this house because it brings rewards and benefits. It's also luck, abundance and prosperity within those aspects of the fifth house. So you could be seeing this in your children, or you could be experiencing it yourself, and then you are able to pass on those good feelings and happiness onto your children through generosity and joy and happiness and things like that. So you could be just really enjoying a very loving and abundant relationship with your children, or with your love affair. not necessarily money. Abundance can be many things, can be just feeling happy, feeling content, or just feeling grateful for all that you have, and grateful for your interactions with your children. There's all of those coming in. It could also be that you're overcoming obstacles in this arena. So that's children, creativity, or love affairs, or having fun, or just enjoying various types of sports and games. You could be really winning and be very lucky. You could be really having success and reward for effort when it comes to your creative projects. So you could also be receiving divine help in those areas. It's important to stay positive and keep your hand on the wheel, though. So accept the abundance, be grateful, and spread it around as well. And just be content with what you're receiving, but don't slip off and sort of lose sight of what it is you still need to do and what you still need to work on. So it's also about keep going, don't give up, because there are benefits coming in. It's also about restoring faith as well. It's about enjoying freedom as well. So there could be freedom from routine. Maybe you're enjoying nice, fun activities, or you enjoying gaming and sort of sports and really, getting out and about and actually feeling rewarded or finding the activities rewarding. It's also about you may, if it's to do with a love affair, you may come into contact with a Jupiter type person. So this could be somebody who's quite social, they're generous, they're outgoing, they enjoy freedom and they enjoy fun. So it's that kind of thing. They could also be have religious interests and deeper philosophical interests. They could also be studying because Jupiter rules all of those. It could be somebody who enjoys teaching. There's various ways that this can come in, but or you could just be enjoying an abundant relationship with this person, which is generous and loving and social. Then in the sixth house, we have another very supportive card. This is part of fortune. This is about increase. So it is exactly what it says there. But the deeper aspect of this card is that it's about your particular talents and abilities, which perhaps have been unacknowledged or just haven't been present in you. And this, if you're into past lives, it could be stuff you're bringing in from a past life. Suddenly those talents and abilities are being activated, or it could just be something that you've sort of known about, but you've never really focused on, or you've never had the need to focus on it. Or it could just be something that rises up out of the blue. So it's coming to the surface, really. That's what it is. So now this is coming up in your sixth house, which is everything to do with work, your work projects, mastery of your craft. It's also about your workplace, your work colleagues, and it's also about your health and diet and pets. So you could be getting more pets, but also with your health and diet, you can expect to be having good health at this time and finding balance. It's about finding balance and moving forward to reach your goals. Obstacles are being removed, things like that. So if it's to do with your work side, it's a very beneficial influence to be having. So you can expect to be having increase. Perhaps it's an increase of work, but there's also sort of a destiny or fate aspect of this as well. So you could be in the right place at the right time to pick up